In this episode of the Ktdata Anime Podcast, Kirisaki is on a first-name basis with friends.
Poison candy.
And the princess rallies the troops. All that more coming up. The show begins in 3, 2, 1. It's time for the Ktdata Anime Podcast with Dito and Ktdata. The Ktdata Anime Podcast is brought to you by the Little Big Cast live stream of Outlast. Come watch the Little Big Cast crew play through Outlast live. Find out who screams the loudest on Thursday, March 13, 2014 on ktdata.net. Hey everybody, welcome to the Ktdata Anime Podcast. I am Ktdata.
And apparently I am Dito.
And this is the book club podcast where you go out, watch some animes, talk about it, come back, and we discuss. Dito, how are you doing, my friend? I have not seen you in 2 weeks.
Probably for the best, KT, but at the same time, too, Titanfall.
Giant robots.
What else can I say?
Giant robots. What more do you need to say?
Yeah, life is always better with a Titan.
Yeah, so if you guys, it's the first time watching the Ktdata Anime Podcast, first of all, welcome. This is our first episode we've actually recorded on upgraded equipment. I'm excited about that. And you'll notice that Dito, I lag more than Dito now these days. Don't know how that works out. But if you have not seen it before, what we do here is we go watch some animes. So you're like, well, I haven't seen any of the animes. Just pause the episode, go to ktdata.net, look for episode 3 of the spring season. Look in the show notes. Bam! Links to stream all these animes in all their glory, and then you can come back and see what we have to say about it. Yay.
Yay!
All right, Dito, how about
exciting.
How about we jump into our first anime before I screw up saying its name?
さらに凄まじい苦労の連続となる。
And our first anime of the night is Nisekoi, and it's brought to you by Best Friends. You can't stay mad at them forever. Aww. All right, so last time we find out that fitting in is a little bit harder than you think when you take stalking to a whole new level, and it's all fun and games till you're locked in the closet with your worst enemy. Or is it? Ooh.
Dun, dun, dun.
All right. So, Onodera's friend, what's her name? Rory. She, again, is still trying to play wingman for Onodera. And this time she comes with a plan of having a Kirisaki come help out with the swim team or swim club on there. The only problem is that Onodera doesn't know how to swim. And the swim meets tomorrow.
You know how
right?
Oh, come on. You know how it's easy. You know, swimming is so easy. Like anyone can learn in a day, right?
Yeah, and she still invites Raku to the party too, which doesn't make any sense, but okay. On there, he's supposed to teach her how to swim. Again, in like, what is it? You know, maybe 3 hours at most they have, considering all things considered.
I would assume that like, okay, so normally after school stuff, we'll just say 5 hours, just to give it a nice little leeway there. You know, in that time period, I think they spend maybe 2 hours even attempting to swim. And that's like going, you know, it's like, oh, let me get juice, or you know, like
they're like barely in the water.
You know, it's like, and then when they're in the water, it's like going, oh no, it's wet. We can't swim. Like, wait, what?
Yeah, and I'm getting this is the only excuse for Nisekoi to have a beach episode, and this is the closest we're going to get to going to an actual beach in the whole anime.
Remember, we've determined that in all anime, any series like this, we're going to have either beach, swimming, hot springs, or something around the equivalents.
Yeah, I'm surprised it came this early because this is only the 5th episode that they're in. I was leaning more towards 7 or 8, man. So
The golden numbers, 7 and 8.
So they jumped a little bit on this. We don't talk about 9 because 7's dangerous. On there, so what everybody's starting to get suspicious about this couple right here. Rory,
Well, mostly Rory really was questioned, and she has been for a while now.
yeah, and Claude, he's always around, looking around. Sometimes
just
losing lots of blood.
Yeah. Creepy pervert style blood.
It's like, oh, you've grown so much. On there. So, after the 1-day crash course in swimming, it's the meet time. And what could go wrong in a swim meet, right? With somebody who knows how to barely swim with the aid of a floating kickboard thingy.
Well, let's just say this though. What can go wrong? The worst thing can happen if someone is using a kickboard to swim. It's shallow water. No one could drown, right?
Are you kidding me about that shallow water? When they cut to it, it's like Jaws could be living in there, man. If that's their definition of shallow water, I don't want to know what the deep end looks like.
It'd be like the black abyss, just off the cliff.
Yeah. So Onodera, she's doing fine. She's not winning the race, of course, but she's still staying afloat. But everybody else is going, wait a minute, is that girl drowning over there? And guess who it is, Dito?
It's some character B.
No. It just happens to be the ace who they brought in to kind of win it. Kirisaki. She's singing because she forgot to stretch before going into the deep end. And then and because what's his name, Raku is the way he is, he just jumps in without thinking and saves her. And his buddy Shu over there, she's like, she's not breathing. Raku, save her, you're her boyfriend. She's not breathing.
Mouth to mouth, go.
And it's total BS right there.
Oh yeah. See, this is that time where you have such a good friend that they pull this kind of prank on you. You could still be friends with them.
Yeah, I just think it's hilarious that all the friends in the show are like pushing all the characters ahead, doing all the stuff. And it's hilarious. And of course, Kirisaki, she wakes up and she's like, "What you doing? You trying to attack me, aren't you?"
Yes, and then it's another one of the sound clips of him being hit.
Bah! I like by the end of this, like if I put all those sound clips together, you probably get a full episode of Nisekoi just of him getting hit. 22 minutes of him getting hit on there. So this was a good thing for a beach episode right there. And then we go into where now Kirisaki, she doesn't realize that he's the one who saved her until the next episode, and she's just angry at him. It's like, that jerk, what does she call him all the time? That
Bean Sprout.
Yeah, that Bean Sprout. What was he trying to do? Attacking me at the swim meet, and everybody's like, he dragged your sorry butt out of the water, right?
At that point, self, after we've all tasted what our shoe is, and it's that moment where it's like going, oh, what can I do now? So at this point, they're just saying, just apologize to him. And that seems to be harder to do than anything for her.
Yeah, she tried at least 4 times to kind of get there. And every time, they're just not on the same level. They're not on the same page. Finally, you get to the point where they're sort of on the same page, but not quite. They know they're talking about the swimming thing now, but they don't know what they're talking about. He's thinking about mouth to mouth and like first kisses, and she's just like, "Oh, just thanks for saving me in general." I didn't really need mouth to mouth, and that didn't end well, right?
The funny thing about Raku is that, at times he's very, very, just knows it. He just sees everything that's going on. And then all of a sudden he goes dense, like super dense. It's like they start talking about something like this and his mind just goes out. You know, it was just like going, I don't want to hear this, so I'm gonna like, what?
I know it's pretty much like us on a good day. But
Yeah.
what's funny is the truth finally comes out to Kirisaki's friends. So pretty much Onodera and Rory. She tells them the truth that they're not dating, and Onodera just like doing a little dance, celebrating.
Time to confess. Get down tonight.
On there. And again, Rory kind of tries to force her into that because they're in they're right in they're in the classroom. Nobody's around. Rory's forcing Onodera to kind of confess to him, and they're getting close and close together, you know. And she's like, I, and then Raku's like, huh? And then like, I, and then boom,
Baseball. Probably a foul ball.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I like, I love what those baseball players are like. Oh crap! There was actually somebody in there.
Oh, it's not the same thing that I would actually have done. You know, it's just like, sorry, was anyone hurt? You know, out of courtesy, and then it'd be like, oh crap, someone was in there.
So I don't know. Were you hoping for it? I was hoping for it. I'm like, oh, this is a great curveball. They're only like halfway through the series, and she's already gonna confess, and it's gonna be awkward.
I see what you did there.
Yeah.
Unintentional.
So like, yeah, I thought it was gonna do that, but no, they took the easy way out on this one. I was like, no.
I don't actually think there's going to be anything like that because this is too much of it. It's just very close to a harem. So
I see, Dito. You're on Team Kirisaki. You're totally on Team Kirisaki, aren't you?
I'm actually Shu. I'm the guy. I'm the guy sitting there giving everyone crap. I am the kind of friend that's going to sit there and going, I'm going to mess with him.
Oh,
she's
man.
not breathing. Give her mouth to mouth. Yeah.
Remember, Shu likes, the skinnier girls, not, and he thinks Kirisaki has a little bit more meat on her.
No. Glasses.
Glasses. And it's kind of funny where you start seeing that they almost do it, and then
Yeah.
Kirisaki, she kind of finds a nice part because he drops the pendant. I mean, for somebody who cherishes that pendant so much, how do you notice this like giant, like literally, it's like a giant bottle of mayonnaise that you're hanging on your chest. Like, how do you not notice that it's gone?
It's not to mention sharp. I mean, it's freaking dagger on the other side. How do you not notice something like that drop off of you? That it's under your shirt that's tucked in.
Yeah, it's like that thing does not look light. And it's like, come on.
Not to mention the sound when it hits the ground. That thing will sound like a freaking like a ball bearing, just this huge hollow ball bearing, just like resonating.
Yeah,
when it hits the
I'll
ground.
actually forgive that because the other guy was saying sorry at the same time while they're carrying a crocodile. Like
No excuses.
The one thing that I love about Nisekoi is there's just so much random crap going on in the background where like you read the signs and why would you carry a crocodile across school grounds? Why would you have a crocodile at a school anyways?
Because race card.
On there. And then so she kind of gets one of her guys to fix the chain and bring it back. And, we're finally seeing Kirisaki try not to deny her feelings. And then the love triangle is going to be complete.
Or more or less. But we do discover that Kirisaki has a similar promise.
Or it could be the same one, considering how dense she is.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, I sort of made a similar promise. I'm like, oh my, like seriously? Seriously?
It's like their dense levels, just like when one goes off, the other one triggers.
Like, duh.
And it's like, when our powers combine, we become dense.
On there. And then what's even more interesting is Claude has something up his sleeve. Since he can't get close to her, he sends in a mole. Dun dun dun.
Oh. Molly. Mole?
Yeah. What do you want to bet that that mole fell in love with her a long time ago because of one play date. Because that's all you need in anime is just one play date.
No,
there.
it's like I think it's going to be one of the close frame mind creepy people. You know, it's like, oh, you've grown so much. I have a feeling it's gonna be like that, where it's just gonna be like some sadist, some S&M sadist.
Oh man, I'm kind of excited to see where that happens and to see how Raku's gonna survive and if all out war is gonna ever happen. I love how they do the little animations, like if anybody ever found out the whole city is just gonna be. Like,
what kind of family do you have?
Just a normal family.
Normal, absolutely normal.
On that, so it's fun, it's exciting, I love it, and for some reason every time I watch it I'm excited for spring. I don't know. All right, let's go on to our next anime of the night. And our next anime of the night is Witchcraft Works, and it's brought to you by
When there's smoke, there's fire, and probably large explosions following.
which is a lot of this anime. Everything blows up.
Everything. You touch someone's finger, blows up. But last episode, we see how the damage transfer works. A giant stuffed bear takes out like half the city, and the battle for the white stuff. And my white ball. All right, so what better way to, watch the most valuable thing that's in your possession than to take it home with you, right?
Yep. And you think you'd have problems. Parents might say, "What? Why? What?" I'd be more worried about the guy. It's like, why are you moving in with a girl? You're gonna get her pregnant. What are you guys doing?
Yeah,
shifty,
it's like
shifty.
But instead, it's more along the lines of saying that, oh, by the way, you're actually engaged because your mom's your mom and me went to school together. We got really close. We want to get married, but since we're women, we can't. So instead, we kind of set up our kids to get married for us. Wait, what?
So,
yeah,
and she's all happy. Woohoo! Party in the USA or in Japan.
It's like an indirect way of getting close to someone who actually had feelings for, in a very weird way.
Yeah, and the and I love it. The only person who's freaking out is his sister. She goes like, "No, I'ma kill you, mom." And then poor mom.
The best part is like, as soon as she's like telling her sister to is like, stop. Stop. And then all of a sudden she like tackles her and just like, go, you're free. It's like, hurry, run.
I hold her down, and he packs quick, man.
Somebody tells me that he was pre-packed.
His mom already did all the stuff.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm just ready to kick you out of the nest right now, so go. And so of course we find out that Kagari is kind of loaded, like 40 stories high loaded.
And 40 stories in another dimension loaded.
Yeah. On their glass elevator loaded too. I wonder if that's magic or if that was just real glass.
I think magic had a big part to play in this.
I don't
40
think
stories.
So. It's all science, right?
Really? Yeah, well, that's pretty. You're making me a believer, KT.
Yes, for science.
Science?
Yes. And when they get to the 40th floor, they have some visitors. A visitor so cruel that she would petrify you.
And yeah, and does lots of other things too with little fox minions.
Yeah.
That poke and probe and skewer with little knives and everything.
Yeah. So Medusa's attacking, and then somehow Kagari gets petrified on there, and that's where we learn that part of this spirit, the energy transfer that they have on there is it depends on how much Takamiya's belief in him. Like if he doesn't believe in her ability to fight, she can be susceptible to things. So he's gotta believe.
It's like all the Sentai stuff, it's like, send me your love, your power, your energy, it's like, believe in me and I get more stronger.
Yeah.
Something like that. KT, I believe you could fly.
On there. Well, the only thing I can do is this. On there. So there you go. Ding.
Level up.
On there. So it's kind of interesting. So he has to be able to believe in her and be able to do all that stuff. So, when he does that, she kind of comes back, and then they kind of have a mini makeout session while she's petrified.
I was gonna make a really horrible comment there. I'm gonna not say anything about that.
What? I already said mini makeout session.
Yeah, but she was hard.
On there, and it's fun. It's funny. We've at the end of this episode, we kind of finally see those two. Well, during this episode, we finally see those two talking to each other. Like, have you noticed that until now they really haven't had conversations? It's usually like move, get down. This is how you like start training in magic. It hasn't really been about each other, but we finally see like they feel a connection.
It's mostly like there is this unexplained feeling of connection. Ones that's like they've known each other for a very long time, but can't explain it kind of connection that no one really actually knows.
Yeah. And they didn't have to use what's that new app? Tinder to meet each other either. Oh, you haven't heard of that app, have you? That's what the kids are using to hook up these days.
Back in my day, we never had internet to meet people. It was couch co-op.
Yeah. So what happens is Medusa ends up blowing up all her houses, so they have to actually move back to Takamiya's house.
Not necessarily. It was the white princess that actually blew everything up. Medusa was just
Medusa started it at least.
Well, yeah,
she blew up the door of the elevator.
She blew up the door, but the white princess kind of destroyed the whole tower.
Yeah, and to talk about the white princess, apparently that's the white stuff.
Apparently.
And that one candy that he was eating is just a poison, and it's slowly
eroding his 5 seals.
Yeah. So I guess that was his power. Is the white princess somehow got sealed into him, and
sorry.
All that white
just took that and ran with it.
And it turns out that Kagari's mom, she's been watching over him, and she can seal him indefinitely right now, and she needs to do that pretty soon. So he's gonna, I'm going for that. She has to seal him like Han Solo Carbonite style.
Yes, Carbonite. Nothing's better.
On there, my money's on that one going that way. And I guess that's why Kagari left Medusa alive, to be a distraction. Ooh. Have you noticed these villains from the Tower Witches? They're so content with just living normal lives sometimes.
Well, it's like, you have Medusa sitting there in, I guess it's Kagari's house now, where Takayama's house where Kagari's room's supposed to be, and they're just sitting there going like, so when are we gonna do stuff? So
I'm bored.
It's like, oh, all the rest of them are like just sitting there like having fun or sleeping. It's just like, I think they're really content of having just a normal everyday life as long as Medusa's around.
Yeah, they've like forgotten they have other things to do, but they're just like, ooh, candy, shiny. I'm gonna go hang out right here.
Ooh, piece of candy. Ooh, piece of candy.
Yeah, so where do you think this is going to go from here? Because I still don't know what's going on in Witchcraft Force.
I guess the only way I can really say this is that, one, Takayama's family is very weird because it's like easily depressed mother, overprotective sister, and a son that can only make those two work. And they play well together.
Yeah, I have to say the sister's borderline sister. Sword Art Online kind of love right there.
No. It's not even close. She's basically just already said that, no one can have my brother but me. Screw you all.
No, he's half Asian, half Hawaiian.
Hey.
Drew comes in and is like, wait a minute, Tito's white? This is what you guys are missing if you're not watching live.
Yes, I am like the reverse Michael Jackson at this point.
Yeah. So, I have no idea where this anime is going, but I'm having a fun time watching it.
I'm getting entertained by Kagari's multiple witch forms, multiple fire forms.
Yeah, and I'm just wondering why no one in the city has noticed that half of it keeps getting blown up on a constant basis.
Yeah, not to mention it's not just blown up, but we're talking laser blowing up because
like Warzone blown up.
Like big Warzone, like when Takayama's sister kidnaps him, goes through the city on this flying bear, and here comes Kagari with a big flying dragon shooting beam weapons all over the place.
Yeah, and they blew up the teddy bear store. That's kind of messed up.
Yes.
They blew up the teddy bear store by throwing a car into it. I'm like, what? It's nothing sacred? Not even the teddy bear store?
Nothing sacred. This is all Tower Witches stuff. It's just blame them.
Yeah, even though it's the workshop witches doing it.
Yeah, the ones who are not supposed to destroy anything and stuff are doing more damage than the Tower Witches are.
Man. All right, let's go to our final anime of the night, where things, oddly enough, make more sense than witchcraft works. And our final anime of the night is Log Horizon, and it is brought to you by the Crescent Burger. If it doesn't get all over your dress, it doesn't belong in your princess face. Last episode, we see some teamwork. The Goblin King returns, and it's time to attack. Her name is Coco. She is loco. I said, oh no.
I was waiting for that.
So the attacking goblins, the goblins are, massing away, headed towards the people of the land on there, and our mini adventurers, as I'm going to call them from now on, Team Mini Adventurer, decide that they want to go and try and protect that one city that's closest to the goblin horde. For the horde.
For the horb.
On there. And so what they do is they kind of try to separate it out and attack them without attacking the main force, because obviously they'll overwhelm you and you'll get killed that way. On there, and then the other half is that the people of the land and all the people in Akihabara, they're still trying to figure out what to do. They don't know what they want to do. They're waiting for the other person to show their cards, and neither side is kind of budging right there. And we find out that the Izumo Knights, they're kind of AFK.
No, not just AFK. They're just missing. Like, they've already tried to discover where they're at. They can't be found.
Connection error.
Yeah, connection error. Lag. That's severe lag. But we're seeing that on this end that they don't want to reveal. Like, the People Land's council doesn't want to reveal that these Izumo Knights are not there. So they're trying to get, like, the adventurers to say, like, oh, we will help you, but not having to do something so that they have to reward them.
Yeah, because they don't want to be in debt with them. So the advantage of having the adventurers go in is if they die, they get revived. The problem with the with the people land going in, they die. They don't come back. They're just gone on there. Plus, they're a little bit weaker than the adventurers are on there.
Just a little.
So they're having problems with this, and then all this tension comes to an ultimate when Princess Lenesia, she comes in and she's like, all right, I'm done with this kind of bluffing bull crap and, trying to figure out what the other person's going to say without saying what I'm going to say. So I'm laying all the cards on the table, and what I'm going to do now is go over to Akiba and try to recruit an army by myself, because they're independent. They don't have a standing army. They're not like our culture in that way. They're independent people who do whatever they want. So I'm going to go one by one and get all of them on Team Lenesia and go slay some goblins. About that.
Yeah, I would start calling that Team Valkyrie male.
Team Valkyrie. I love it. And she just has so much culture shock when she comes in, because she she's been, in this world where she's a princess, everything's taken care of. She doesn't have to worry about this kind of stuff. And you come and you see this vibrant world of players, not, doing more than just surviving. They're actually living life. They're doing things that they, different things. They have shows. I don't know where they got the speakers from for karaoke, but okay.
We're talking about some magic. I mean, they're using big orb balls to illuminate stuff. Big orb smiley faces.
Smiley faces.
Smiley faces.
So it's kind of interesting where they're actually mixing these cultures now, and they're trying to understand each other because it's just so different from how it used to be in the game. What's nice is that Team Mini Adventurers, they didn't play a lot of the game before the apocalypse, so they treat the people of the land the same way as they treat the adventurers. They see them as equals in that sense. So that's why they were willing to go risk their lives and fight out in the forest to kind of delay the goblins until everybody could kind of get organized on that. And then so after we get Princess Linesia kind of more cultured into everything, it is the big time to pull people
strut her stuff.
Yeah. On there. And, she comes out and makes her magnificent spiel. She's so passionate about it. And how'd that turn out, Dito?
Silence for about like 2 seconds before they just like stereotypical anime styles, like, oh my god, our princess, it's an event we've been waiting for. Yay! Yeah. It's just it's just so like shocking to her because she's just thinking like going like one or two people. She's kind of used to people not putting others first because we're talking about gamers here. We're talking about like MMO gamers are just sitting there going like waiting for something to happen. That usually sit online and MMO just in town waiting for something to happen. Something just happened. They're like, yeah, adventure! We don't care. It's like, adventure, go
on there. To the tune of 12,000 people or 1,200 people. That's a lot of people right there. I don't know how many people are in Akiba, but that's a fair amount of them on there.
That's almost all of them, actually.
Yeah, and so they kind of split it up. So Krusty takes an advanced vanguard called the Expedition Force. I'm a little worried that they called it the Expedition Force because the last anime that we saw that had an Expedition Force, it didn't end well and nothing happened. And there was a little bit complaining. I won't go too much into that. But
we'll leave it at that.
Yeah, but I'm confident in Krusty. He knows what he's doing. And Shiroe's kind of bringing the rest of everybody else by land. And we finally see the steamboat. And I don't know if it's because I saw the live action version of Space Battleship Yamato over the weekend, but it looked a lot like a steamboat version of Space Battleship Yamato.
Don't worry about the small references.
Who doesn't love Space Battleship Yamato?
And if you don't, you must be smited.
That, or they're like, what in the world is that? And I'll be going, oh man, that anime came out in the 80s.
Youngins.
And so they're kind of on the way. They're all headed towards. I'm kind of excited to see how this battle works and see how they actually do this on a large scale. Because so far we've only seen like parties of 6 people kind of doing battle with the PvE. So I'm kind of excited how they're going to do a large scale war. They kind of hinted at some of it where they're breaking up the platoons into teams of 24 on there, but I'm still exciting to see what's next, right?
Yeah, because we're sitting there like what? Like some 100,000 goblins attacking, 1,200 adventurers, and according to Shiro, that's not going to be very difficult for them to do.
Yeah, and I love this. The anime still brings it back to this political dance that the both parties are still doing. You see, what's his name? He's the blacksmith. He's talking with Linesia's grandpa, and he's like, so I feel like I've kind of jerked you around by saying we'd give you nobility. That's not giving you enough respect. What I want to do is have us sign a non-aggression pact and start trade relations. Be actually good neighbors. And I think that's a big step. The people of the land are viewing the adventurers as equals in there, and that's I think that's a great kind of start. And I hope they kind of build on that because they focus on a lot on this political aspect, and I love that point because a lot of animes don't talk about that at all.
When they do, it comes down to plots of land.
Yeah,
And character names that we can remember because that's their actual character.
I just love that things because it's those things that you tend to neglect, and I love how they're addressing this. Is like what happens when those inanimate objects that you used to think are inanimate objects come to life, and they have a say in things and how things work, and opinions. So I'm kind of excited for that. I'm still excited about Log Horizon. It's kind of been a while since we've watched a fantasy adventure anime that either the second half didn't peter out or it didn't drag on forever. So it's refreshing to me.
Or didn't progress at all.
Yeah. On there,
same thing. Same people keep on screaming. No progression with the characters, and the main character dies 3 times.
Yeah, and it's bad. I keep wanting to buy. The problem with that show is I don't like the anime at all and how it's executed, but I like all the collectible stuff they made. I just ordered another set of things because I'm like, they look so cool. The anime is so bad.
It's like the merchandise outweighs the actual show.
Yeah, that honestly, like I like the merch, but the actual show is like on there. So that's the end of this episode of the Kita Anime Podcast, Dito. If you guys agree, disagree, we'd love to hear what you think about these animes. Email it to us at kita@ktdata.net, or you can also give us a like on our Facebook page, and then you can leave a comment there. We read those all the time, too. I mean, Dito's like quick. I mean, somebody sent us a message, and I was asleep, and by the time I woke up, Dito had like a full conversation with them already on there. Or else you can also follow us on Twitter. I'm at KTData. Dito is at Ahoy Baby. We tweet out fun stuff. You know when the show goes live, and you'll know when the recorded version comes out. So you can always follow that too. Last but not least, I always forget to tell people to do this, but please, please, please subscribe to us on YouTube or on Stitcher or on iTunes. However you guys watch this show, if you can subscribe, please subscribe and go leave a comment or two on there. We love hearing from you guys, and cool stuff right there. And last but not least, Dito, this is always important. Poop, because everybody does it.
Yes. Sometimes upside down.
Yeah. And again, make sure you guys check out this Thursday if you're watching live. I'm actually driving up to Drew's studio, and we're gonna do a live stream of Outlast while the crew plays with that. I'm excited. I'm gonna see who screams first. Everybody knows that I'm a kind of big chicken anyways, so but I'm putting money on. I have a feeling Jeff is the one who's gonna kind of scream the loudest, but who knows on there. Anything else? Oh yeah, and of course, if you want to watch live, we've kind of referred to it. Our next episode is March 25th, 2014. Come in the chat room, come talk. We love talking to you, and you always miss the pre and post shows because those don't get recorded, and you can find that at ktdata.net/live on there. Am I missing anything, Dito?
I think that's everything.
So please keep up on ktdata.net. We got a lot of things coming, and since I have all this gear now, I think my editing is going to get faster. So there's going to be a lot of stuff posted soon, and all that fun stuff. So
backlog, here we come.
Yep. So thank you guys for listening, for watching, for doing everything. I love all of you, and if I could give you guys a hug personally, I'd do it. Dito,
especially Sparky.
Yeah, Sparky. I give you a long hug. Dito, thank you, my friend. I always enjoy it, and I never know where the time goes, and I'm so glad that you're doing the show with me.
Right.
Yeah, it's the truth. It's bromance, man. All right, guys.
Bromance.
We will see you in 2 weeks. Bye-bye.
See you guys.